look so easy the last time. Hey guys, I'm working on something new today. This is my husband's four-wheeler. It is a, well, to be honest with you, I can't remember what brand it is anymore. All the stickers have kind of wore off. And over the years, it's gotten kind of harder to start, especially when it's really cold. And one of the things that we do is take the carburetor out and clean out the carburetor. One of the reasons why this project is easier for me to do is because I have smaller hands. Most people would probably have to take the whole thing apart in order to get the carburetor out. Hopefully I didn't let it run too much so that it's not too hot. But thanks for joining me today, and we'll try to see what we can do. Alright, I'm going to show you where the carburetor is. Right here is the fuel switch. Behind it is your carburetor, and we have items that we got to take apart on both sides. So let's get to that. We start with taking the fuel switch off, which is a Phillips screwdriver. Remember what position that you have it in, and oh, by the way, I need to turn the fuel off. We don't drown the entire motor and area with gasoline. The next thing that we do is we got to actually take the switch itself out. There's two screws, one here on the bottom and one up at the top. Now you can kind of see why somebody with big hands would have a hard time getting this carburetor out. It is difficult to move this piece around. I don't have a whole lot of play in it, right? But the screw that I need to go to, if you look in that little hole, is right there. So all you gotta do is pull it down just a little bit. That gets the cover off. One thing you really gotta be careful about is not stripping your screws. And also remembering where everything goes so you don't have extra parts left over. That might be a problem. Oop, and don't lose them. Mouth right. I gotta get this pin right here out in order to be able to see what I'm doing at the same time. So you push it up. There's a little cable that's got to come through here. And I'll also be able to get this pin out. Here we go. Almost there. Okay, see, we got the cable out. Alright, I got a screwdriver to release these clamps. Get them loose enough that they'll go over the tube. Now the interesting part is going to be if I can remember how to pull the seat off. I think back here. Okay, how did he get the seat off? He made it look so easy the last time. Okay, so apparently I'm able to pull out a carburetor and clean it, but I'm not able to get the seat off the four-wheeler. I think I'm gonna have to call a friend, or at least call my son. Maybe he knows. Okay, well, until I can get some response on how to remove the seat, a couple things. Really, you are not being nice to me today. Alright, the call a friend on the four-wheeler. I wish I could, unfortunately, had to call Andy of anybody else. I was hoping my son would be able to tell me. But there's a switch. Well, not a switch, but a lever. Where is that at? Right there. Pull that out. And the seat comes up. Gee, how simple was that? Sometimes I think I have more trouble running the camera than I do actually working on a four-wheeler. So, I showed you the fuel lines. Yes, I got the seat off. Working on the fuel lines, they're a little difficult to pull off. I'm guessing that they've been there for a little while. So, we're going to use some Southern Engineering Now if I just didn't lose my tools while I was at it. Alright, so where is that stuff at? Alright, what did I do with my screwdriver that I had? I thought I set it right up here. Sometimes I think there's little pixies that come around and steal your tools. Ah, there it is. I got some help from Ladybug. She's my baby. Yeah, you're my baby. Get out of the way. Oh, there's one. Finally. Okay, so the next one's got a plastic elbow in it. Why? Why would you put a plastic elbow on it? And it comes off like super easy. Like I haven't been struggling with this for the past 5 minutes, and then it just comes off. It's kind of like when you take the pickle jar to your husband to have him open the lid, and you have struggled on it and struggled on it and struggled on it, and he's able to pull it off. Well, it's because we did all the hard work and we got it easy for them to fix it. So this is what we mean by stubbies. They're really short. This one happens to be a ½ inch. I also like the fact that these have the ratcheting wrenches. We get them from Harbor Freight. I absolutely love these. They help for a lot of projects, especially when you got to get in there and don't have a whole lot of room to work. And then once you get it loose, I, thankfully, am able to get in there with my fingers and get it loose. There. Yay! Okay, now we just gotta get out of here. And yes, I'm gonna spill some gas. Unfortunately, nobody light up a lighter, hopefully. Okay, you'd think this would be the easy part. Hey, we got it out. Did not realize that the recording had gone off. This side I'm taking out, there's a little spring back here. So I'm loosening all 4 screws. That way I can turn it up and loosen those. Now it's not a very strong screw or spring, so you're not expecting it to jump out of here and go across the room. Just, you don't want to lose any pieces. And you also want to be careful that your diaphragm doesn't get broke in the process. You can see how that's trying to poke that up. So hold that plate down while you're pulling your screws out. Alright, see, there's your spring. A little plastic piece doesn't come off. So this, you want to be really careful pulling it out, but it should come out pretty easy. You want to make sure there's no holes in it. Possibly can look behind it on a light. It looks like it's in good condition. All right. So next is to put this in the parts washer. So the whole body of our carburetor. The lids. We'll even put the springs in there. That has a piece of plastic in it, so I'm gonna leave it out. All the small parts we're gonna wash individually. Putting our basket back in. Put the lid on. And if I can remember how to do this. Maybe it's the same settings it was on last time. I think temperature at 45, because we do have that plastic part on there. And let's go for 30 minutes. And start. Alright, we'll come back and put our carburetor back together. Next thing we got to do is we got to make sure that all those holes are clear. So we'll use a little bit of carburetor cleaner to clean the ports out. Need to clean out the inside of those. Let's go with the ones that fit just right. Make sure the insides of those are cleaned out. Then we also have these tools that shall have a smaller file, just big enough to clean out the holes on the sides. Now, don't ever use one that's too big, because we don't want to make those holes any bigger. We just want to make sure they're cleaned out. Now, this does sometimes get to be a little time consuming. Okay, love the internet, because I I was going to have it completely wrong. So this little pin looking thing goes down in the center of this diaphragm. Again, make sure your diaphragm doesn't have any holes in it. You can put it up to the light and look. Goes down in there. And what I noticed earlier is it didn't want to slide in there freely. But you want to make sure it does that. So if it's catching on something, then there's a problem. And probably what the problem is that pin is not going into the hole in the opposite side. So I'll make sure that goes in there right. Slips right in. Okay, spring goes inside the diaphragm with the plastic piece down. Then your part on top, making sure that goes onto the spring. So to put the carburetor back in, it is easiest to go on the right hand side because we don't have the exhaust in the way. The hardest part is getting this lined up so that we get it back into the air filter tube. And you got to hold your mouth right. That's always fun. And it doesn't always come out or go in as easy as you want it to. Of course, obviously make sure you don't have it upside down. We got to pull this out of the way, get this cable into that hole while getting this part in the right tube. Don't think that was supposed to come off like that.
It's not attached on the other side right now.
Oh, well, that made it easier. Okay, so the hardest thing to put in on this side is the choke cable, because it does have a little pin on the end of it, and it's a rather stiff cable, so we got to have it lined up, and that's the hardest part for Andy to do because of his larger hands. Just got to get it lined up. Okay. Let's get it on there all the way. Turning the fuel on, making sure I don't have any leaks anywhere. Don't see anything leak point.
Okay.
Get my tools out of the way.
Put it in neutral. Well, it's running. So thank you for helping me on this little adventure. And like and follow our channel. I've also got some shirts available if y'all are interested. The Rusty Adventures looks pretty cool on the back as well. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.